Hello, this is Warlord 12, and today I need to talk about Street Fighter 6 for my review. I'm saying? This is going to be short and simple, so I'm going to make things very clear is that Street Fighter 6 is literally, for me, it's like a 6 out of 10. And even if someone or anyone wanted to make any excuses like, oh, well, did you even play the game? I actually own the game, and I can't play it thanks to Capcom and Capcom's ways over, with their track record of games not being fixed like they should, or like how other game companies won't fix their games from the beginning, right? They won't do follow-ups and stuff, or have people test their games out. So long story short, basically with Street Fighter Sixes, right, you need like two or three different applications in order to play Street Fighter Six. For I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna ask a question. What video game needs three different applications just to play it? It should only be one game, one application. You download it and you play the game. So because of these two different applications, right? And it's not like I don't have enough memory. I have plenty of memory for my video games, and I made sure of this to have like plenty even afterward, right? And I'm trying to play the game recently, right? And what happens is, as soon as I try to play the game, I'm only stuck into like the online lobby where it's like you're playing with your created characters. So then I'm like, okay, well, let me try playing some other characters on here, while I'm here anyway. And I found out I can only play as like three characters, like Ryu and two other characters. I can't remember which other ones, but all the other characters were locked because I needed the other two applications, even though I downloaded the whole game. So this is already saying, when it comes to Capcom and these gaming companies, they want to say people are trying to overhype Capcom and talking about this is the year of fighters. No, it's not. Man, you only got like two or three games every year. And like I said, when people are overhyping, and what I mean by this is the year of fighting games, like look at Mortal Kombat with their overpriced DLC. Look at how they're trying to use all this ESG stuff. You know what I'm saying? What Mortal Kombat and other fighting games are trying to do, they're trying way too hard to try to get with the times. It's one thing to get with the times, it's another thing to actually, create, like, be creative with your own style and your own, era, with your own, like, how should I say, like, being a trendsetter, not being a follower. Because that's what a lot of companies are trying to do. They're trying to be a follower in order to make more money. Obviously there's a right way to do it, and there's a wrong way to do it. What you have your own belief or whatever it is, that's you, man. But what I'm also saying is like certain things that you're just trying to copy everyone else on doing, even when it comes to like the different morals and stuff like that, or all this different homosexual stuff and transgender stuff, right? You're trying to put it in your game. It's like Mortal Kombat, almost like a whole lot more of their characters are becoming more homosexual, and it's just like when it gets to the point where Sub Zero or Liu Kang becomes gay, that's the day where people like me are gonna be like, yeah, I'm not playing this game. And before you say homophobic, I get to say a litho. If you're gonna say homophobic, if you're gonna say hate speech, I get to say what you're doing is a lithophobic. And actually, I could say what you're doing is hate speech, because when you're calling someone homophobic or you're trying to say hate speech, actually what you're really doing is judging, because first of all, you don't even know me, you don't even know the person, right? Well, and it's not just that. That's also there's a word for it when it comes to like when it so the word for that would be you're using false accusations, right? Because you're not really going off of what's fact. You're just saying something even though you don't really know the person, right? So, like, I mean, I'm just saying, right? Because this is what a lot of people do, Anytime people who actually tell the truth about certain things, especially when it comes to transgender and homosexuality, the first thing people do is throw false accusations. They'll come up with any lie or whatever they can just to take down their channel, right? Just because someone tells you the truth doesn't mean it actually has to do with hate. Maybe there are some people that are like that and they'll say that, but there's a lot of people like me who's just like, it's not the person we hate. We just don't like that thing. We just don't like stuff that has to do with homosexuality or transgender stuff. That's not for us. You know what I'm saying? And when you force it and keep pushing it on people and forcing it in other communities, it gets to a point where it's like, you can only push people around, so far until people just had enough of it and they do something about it. So I'm going to leave it like that so that you know what the real problem is, right? Because when you start pushing stuff on people, then people like me have the right to speak up and say something and tell you no. You get what I'm saying? But moving on to the game, right? Because we want to hear more about Street Fighter Six. Now, one of the number top reasons why I'd give this game a 6 out of 10 is mainly because the combat is just a bunch of spamming, right? It's like Street Fighter is known for spamming things like that, except when it comes to using its mechanics for spamming, it's just like it's not really made for pro gamer stuff. It's not really made for being professional when it comes to combat. I mean, you can make combos and stuff like that on the game, but there's a lot of people that you run into where they just use like the broken mechanics to cheese everything. Like, you get what I'm saying? And Capcom still has not done anything about the mechanics and fixed it. And it's like, of course they didn't. It's Capcom, and that's what a lot of game developers do today. They don't really want to fix their stuff or balance their combat mechanics or system. But I'm gonna say this so people actually also know, like, this Street Fighter game, it's not real Street Fighter, and Capcom is just being the same Capcom that's been like, what Capcom said, that basically, I'm paraphrasing, but they were basically saying that they don't think anyone remembers Mega Man. When Marvel vs. Capcom 3 was out, people was like, "Where's Mega Man?" They said that um, people don't remember Mega Man. Like, yo, like, if that isn't the biggest cap in gaming history, I don't know what it is, man. At least one of them, I should say. It's just stupid stuff like this is what you when we talk about Capcom, you know what I'm talking about when I say classic Capcom, because this is classic Capcom right here. You know what I'm saying? And just the nonsense that they've been putting on social media, right? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna call you out, Capcom, like your leadership and all the stuff that's going on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? That's the fact that that I am signed right now says a lot about your video game already. You know what I'm saying? This stuff shouldn't even be going on in fighting games. I don't understand why you allow it so much. And some of it has to do with because of making money. Some of it has to do with because someone higher up wants to force that stuff in the gaming community, and even the community and like other communities and stuff like that as well. You know what I'm saying? People try to put that stuff in every single thing. Even South Park was calling people out on stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? Um, it's just ridiculous. All I really can say to Capcom and these gaming companies that they need to get it together, man. And while I'm gonna call it out right now because it's just like the same thing with the Tekken character Leo from Tekken 8. What they brought out, they try to use Leo for inclusiveness, type of stuff, as an inclusive character, whatever. You know what I'm saying? They try to put the character out there right after the character Reina, and it's just like when you look at Leo's trailer, it's almost like that meme where it's like you hear crickets going on in the background. Like, that's pretty much what Leo for Tekken 8 was. Like, I have to call this stuff out, man. Because like, why do we need this stuff in the fighting games? You know what I'm saying? To the point where you're just pushing that stuff, man. But I wanted to make sure that I say something about this, and this is exactly another reason why I say, this is not the year of fighting games because that's not what fighting games are all about or what they're known for. It's really not. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I'm gonna tell it like it is. But yeah, I just wanted to say that yeah, Capcom, I have to call you out because just like how you want to be capping over here talking about, modding is immoral, right? You're being trying to be like a yes man. It's kind of like you're being like a henchman. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you see those movies and you see like these bandwagoners, like the boss will say something catchy and then like the underlings will be like, yeah, boss, yeah, like Capcom, that's how you are. Like the way you tweeted or what you commented on social media, to be like you're all for stopping modders because they're immoral or whatever it is. But here's the thing, modders, not all mods are a bunch of degenerate stuff. Some mods actually fix the problems that companies like your company, Capcom, won't fix. Like, for instance, how I can't even play on the game because I need two applications. Why do I need two applications for? I should just be able to play the game, right? But problems like that, yes, I'm sure that problem could be fixed later on from a patch, but still, you get the point. That's the point of why people mod to fix the problems that game developers like you, Capcom, make. And then like just like how you want to overcharge for DLC. You know what I'm saying? Concerned about other people paying for costumes because you know you don't want to lose money, but I'm like, but you're overcharging for your DLC costumes. You know what I'm saying? It's like make up your mind. Either you take the prices down so that people actually pay for your stuff, or people are just gonna keep on. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things. But other than that, like I said, like the whole henchman thing, right? You have the nerve to say modding is immoral. You know what else is immoral? All this transgender and homosexual stuff. I want to make sure I explain something here when it comes to being, the transgender stuff as well, because those who get their body parts swapped or switched, right, for other body parts, a lot of those people on the operating table, they don't make it. You get what I'm saying? People are really trying to overhype this stuff and make it look like it's good and safe and everything, but it's not. Oh, not to mention how you'll have people in the future, right, when they get a part removed from the body, and guess what happens? They realize that they regret their decision. Some people are probably regret their decision, but they try to mask what's really going on, and they don't want to tell people what's really going on. You get what I'm saying? But even then, like there are people who are Christian and people who aren't Christian who realize that they have made a mistake changing their body parts around. So, but like I said, when you want to talk about immoral, right? Something like this would be immoral. You know what I'm saying? Like this character in the background for Street Fighter 6, like you shoved it in everyone's faces. See, I want to make sure I say this loud and clear to you, Capcom, because if this is what Street Fighter 6 is, or I should say, any other new Street Fighter game is going to be like, right? And especially with your overpriced microtransactions, we don't want another Street Fighter game, not the way you make them. I said, and that's the main reason why we have a Street Fighter game like this today. Because if anyone from the FGC or the gaming community, right, hardcore gaming community, actually got a game like Rival Schools or a new Darkstalkers, Capcom, we already know how you're gonna be with games like that. If you actually brought those games out and you try to do what you did with Street Fighter 6, people would be all over your head and you know it. And that's the one. That's one of the actually the top one of the top main reasons why you're not giving us Survival Schools or Darkstalkers game because you already know that people aren't gonna have it. People aren't gonna, play your games. Or when I mean play your games, I mean people aren't gonna be led on like you've been doing, with your cheap cheese tactics and tricks to rip people off. And I'm gonna say it like it is. People can sit there and try to use the word homophobic all they want to, but I'm gonna bring up, like I said once more, if you get to call that, I get to say that you're being a lithophobic. And I just want to make sure I bring this up because people will use stuff like this to stop someone's channel. They'll do whatever it is to take someone's channel down. So I want to make sure I say this so if something does happen to my channel or my video, people are gonna know right away what the real reason was. And that's because people like me who actually call you out, Capcom. I want to make sure I call you out because we're not putting up with this stuff anymore. We're not playing with you anymore. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with all this overpriced DLC stuff. You know what I'm saying? For me, I don't even want to really play your game right now. Like maybe when the patch happens, but then some people started figuring out that we got information that oh well, basically street what Capcom was doing that they're not gonna do any real patches until like a whole year. Really, Capcom? I said, and there's no excuses for that. Even if you want to say because you're a company and you want to say because it's just business, and it just so happens because it's just business, right? It's my business to expose this nonsense that's going on, right? You want to talk about business, right? See, when we talk about business, when you do stuff like this and you're overpricing things and you're ripping off your customers and you're forcing certain agendas in your video game, what people like me do is we'll take our own business and take our business somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Um, I have to say it like it is, man, because this is getting ridiculous and out of hand now. Capcom, you need to get it together, man. This needs to stop. Now, other than that, though, this is Warlord 12 and I'm out.